I seen this girl post this video, right? And all she did was say, Jesus!
So this is teaching for women. So Yeshua is the name of the Son. He came in the Father's name. The Father's name isn't Zeus. There's nowhere in the name Jesus that the Father's name is in. He was prophesied to come in the Father's name. But Yeshua warned you in John 5, verse 42 and 43, because you don't have the love of God in you, which is an idiom, is I know you don't keep the 10 commandments, 1 John 5, verse 3, for this is the love of God, to keep his commandments. I know you don't keep the commandments of God. I came in my Father's name. You didn't receive me. You didn't receive that Messiah. But there will be one that will come in his own name that you'll receive. 2 Thessalonians 2. The false Messiah, Matthew 24, he warned them, when the end comes, do not be deceived. There will be many, many false messiahs, false prophets that come after him, deceiving many with lying signs and wonders, that it would deceive even the elect if it were possible. But they have the love of God in them, so it's not possible to deceive them. Because Daniel 11:30, Satan will have indignation against the Holy Covenant and intelligence with those who forsake the Holy Covenants, that don't have the love of God in them. So they won't receive the true Messiah who came in the Father's name, Yeshua, because they changed his name. Prophecy tells you they will change his name, blaspheming Jehovah's name. They blaspheming my name daily, causing his people to howl. But he will publish salvation, Isaiah 52, salvation, Yeshua, his son's name. Jeremiah 23, the wolves in sheep's clothing, the pastors that scatter his flock, because in the end, the churches fall away. 2 Thessalonians 2, 2 Timothy 3 and 4, they do not endure sound doctrines, but will be turned on to fables. Once saved, always saved. You just have to ask the man of perdition, Jesus Christ, into your heart, into your temple, who will sit in your temple and says he's God, who is worshipped above God with pagan idolatry. Jeremiah 10, Jeremiah 7, who opposite himself of Jehovah, saying that you can fill your vessels with abominations. You can eat swine's flesh. You can do pagan idolatry. You don't have to keep the commandments of God. That would deceive the world with lying signs and wonders, casting out demons with the name Beelzebub. Luke 11, for Yeshua casted out demons with the finger of God, and the finger of God wrote the 10 commandments on 2 tables of stone. He casted out demons with the 10 commandments. He casted out demons with the Spirit of God, which is only given to those who love him and keep his commandments, who obey God. John 14, Acts 5:32. And Yeshua's commandments in Matthew 22, verse 36 through 40, the lawyer asked him, what are the 2 greatest commandments in the law they already had? Love God with all your heart, soul, and mind. He quoted Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5, verbatim. And it means to keep the 10 commandments in your heart, teach them to your children. And if you do them, it will be your righteousness, the righteousness of God. And those who are righteous and do righteousness are righteous. His first commandment, Leviticus 19:15 through 18. His second commandment, to love your neighbor as thyself, is not to be respecters of persons, but to rebuke anyone who is breaking the commandments, rebuke them of their sin so they don't suffer sin upon them. Love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. The 2 magnified commandments that Isaiah the prophet told us that Yeshua would give us in Isaiah 42:21, that Moses told us he would give us in Deuteronomy 18:15 through 19. Jehovah would speak through his son he would send in my name, he says. Give us commandments that he will require of us, that he fulfilled in Matthew 22, where all the law and prophets hang on those 2 commandments, and sin is the transgression of the law. 2 Thessalonians 2, man of perdition, you're Jesus Christ. There is power with that name because it's the lying signs and wonders. So when you come before the Lord and you say, Lord, Lord, haven't we done many wonders in your name, Jesus? Haven't we done many miracles in your name, Jesus? He says, depart from me, worker of lawlessness. I never knew you. Because you're calling on the name Baal. And he warned you that there is going to be a different Messiah. There's 46,000 different Christian denominations who all do commandments and traditions of men over the commandments of God. And the name Jesus. Because they do idolatry. Jeremiah 10, Jeremiah 7, they got crosses, crucifixes on every single church building, the image made onto the beast, onto Beelzebub, Jesus Christ, a number of a man, Revelation 13, 666, 666, and the Greek, chai, ze, stigma, Christ pierced on cross, the crucifix, the image made onto the beast. And idolatry makes you deaf and blind. Psalms 115, 135. So you cannot see and you cannot hear. The Antichrist that the world has received. He sits in the temple proclaiming to be God, because now people are saying all over and pushing this so hard, Jesus is God. Jeremiah 23, Jesus came to me in a dream. The false prophets, those he did not send, saying they dreamed and they dreamed, and they tell everyone and their neighbor, so their fathers forget Jehovah's name for the name Baal, Jesus. He says, let them dream. Let them tell their dreams. I didn't send those prophets. And those prophets and those priests will be no priests to me. He's going to rise up his own priests. Romans 10, because his people have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. They're ignorant of Jehovah's righteousness, the 10 Commandments, and have established their own. So how will they hear on them that they have not heard? And how will they hear without a preacher? Because all the churches, the 46,000 denominations, hold the truth in unrighteousness, Romans 1. How beautiful are the feet of them who preach the good tidings of good things. His watchmen, Jacob, who he turns iniquity away from, and Jeremiah 10, who are not like them. They don't do pagan idolatry. Who publish salvation, Yeshua, the Son's name. Isaiah 52, quoting Romans 10. And their feet are very beautiful. They wash each other's feet, as Yeshua washed his disciples' feet. They have brotherly love. They love their neighbor as themselves. The Church of Philadelphia, who hold the key of David, who has been given the rod of iron. The remnant that he raises up the foolish things of this world to confound those who think that they're mighty. That have a heart of David, Psalms 51. Who fear and tremble at his word. Who the Beatitudes are written to. Blessed are they that mourn for his watchmen in Ezekiel 2, 3, and 30.